that you're doing on purpose. Sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
Yes, everybody, welcome in later with Jason Suel. Happy Memorial Day weekend. You've made it. Man, we've made it, Bo.
That felt like we're about to do an aerobic show. Yeah, it's like, welcome to Getting in Shape with Jason and While Bo watches. Yeah.
Do you remember those shows? Like maybe they came on like ESPN
Denise
or
Austin?
Something. Denise Austin early in the morning
she
on
power
Saturday.
walked like she had the weirdest walk ever, and I was like, man, I guess that works. I'm never gonna try it, but
yeah. And this many years later, you still haven't given it a shot.
No, and it's like weird. She like walks like with her spine doesn't move, and she's like got this power walking A. One of my first jobs was in the mall as a teenager.
Did you see people power walk, mall walkers?
Mall walkers,
yes,
yeah.
totally
and it was always like the silvered hair. They just breeze by and like a silver lightning.
Yes, silver lightning.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, Denise Austin, if you are by any means watching this show, we'd love to have you as a guest on to show us how to walk. But hey, summer's here. You know, this is kind of kick off the summer Memorial Day weekend. People are getting outside, headed to the lake, headed to the creek, headed to the river, headed to water, I guess.
And they're all power walking.
That's how they get there.
I mean, this is such a wonderful weekend. We are so spoiled in Northwest Arkansas to have access to just so much outdoor amenities.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you want to go biking, if you want to go to Beaver Lake, if you want to get on the Buffalo and kayak, if you want to go to a kayak park in Siloam Springs, you know, you've got the Razorback Greenway, you've got Kessler Mountain. It's endless. There's parks. There's the Ramble. You can have
a picnic. You're like a spokesperson for Northwest Arkansas right now. Keep going.
And I will never go outside, but I know all the cool places.
Bo likes his air conditioning. He likes to hang out, eat cheese, and watch TV.
I look like Dr. Moreau when I'm out on the video. I've got the parasol, and I'm like, bring me the cheeses.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay. I've got the best visual right now happening, but I want to give you a visual as to what's to come up on the show tonight. We got a fantastic lineup for you. We got celebrity historian Rafi Andoni, and he's joining us to talk about the history behind Memorial Day weekend. So I know we all love it. We all think of it as a chance to get outside.
What is it?
But what is it? Why do we memorialize
what makes it tick?
Folks? Yeah, so he's going to talk to us about the history and the significance of Memorial Day. And then we've got a great musical guest. Listen, the University of Arkansas's Voices a cappella group that won Voice Jam at Walton Arts Center this year. They're going to join us on the show. They have an outstanding sound. You got to tune in for that. And then down there at our chef's table, we've got Cheesemonger Allie joining us. What did you bring for us?
I got a little cheese, a little beer, a little wine, and some snacks.
All right, let's do a little pairing, right?
Oh man, nothing goes with jam like cheese.
You got it, yes. Stick around, folks. All that fun is lined up for you later. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We've got celebrity historian Rafi Andoni joining us once again to talk about Memorial Day. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to be honest, I think there's a little bit of confusion out there because we have sort of taken Memorial Day, Labor Day, even the 4th of July, and just made them kind of reasons to get our red, white, and blue flags out, to get the grill out and kind of celebrate just being outside. But when you really boil it down and look at what the reason of Memorial Day is, that's where you come in to help us kind of figure it out, right?
That's right. So Memorial Day is for people that die as a result of war. So you're killed in action or you're mortally wounded. That's specifically who it's for. For example, different than Veterans Day, which is for all veterans, right? July 4th for independence.
Sure.
And so, yes, we do pull out the flags. Now, I will say that is traditional. Now, Memorial Day is actually a pretty recent holiday officially. It's established in 1971.
Oh, okay.
But the practices go back a century before that in the period shortly after the Civil War. There are multiple versions of Memorial Day. So sometimes you read articles that this is a Memorial Day, this is a Memorial Day after the Civil War. And it may be true, but it's incomplete. There are different versions of it that are playing out after the Civil War. I break it down into three main types. One is the Northern Union veterans. Okay. So those are men who fought for the Union that were celebrating the retention of the Union. Another one was black emancipated, especially also veterans who fought in the Civil War, who were celebrating, of course, freedom and the war to end slavery. And the third version was the former Confederate version, which is actually a more sad version because they're obviously unhappy that they lost the war, right? These three different versions played out, flags playing out always in the spring, the flowers coming out, and they distribute the flowers on the graves. And what's also interesting about that is, believe it or not, they were very political. If you look at the old Memorial Day celebrations with those particular groups, they did not hide the cause that they believed they were advancing from those three groups, which is different than today, which is depoliticized and focused on people that have just been, died as a result of war.
Absolutely. And I think there is a little bit of confusion too about, like, should I be celebrating this day? Should it be a somber day? What are we supposed to do? I've spoken to several veterans who obviously don't mind the celebrations, but have to keep in mind the fact that we are memorializing, we are honoring those who have fallen. Am I right in that?
You are right,
thinking?
but I would say that the discussion around that is not new because you had those different kinds of Memorial Days, and some would be celebrating in the past. For example, if you were a former enslaved person that's now free, that's very celebratory. But if you're a former Confederate, not so much, right? So I hear you, and that's true, but I would say that those debates are not new. It's something so those different meanings and interpretations, while the meanings have changed today, having different interpretations, especially because Memorial Day didn't just start as a single holiday. It was multiple holidays across spring, different local communities would celebrate it differently. There was no one official day, so there's different ways that it can play out. Until more recently, it's been officialized, if you will.
Yes.
Now, there are different ways people memorialize, as you know. I brought a couple of things here.
What did you bring?
We brought, this is from Fort McHenry, where the Star-Spangled Banner was created. Talk about an important, historic, legendary moment. And you have a commemorative coin and a commemorative stamp honoring that. I also brought the pen that I have from my days working at Gettysburg. This is made from the wood of a witness tree to Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, which was given to dedicate the National Cemetery at Gettysburg. Of course, he talked about the last full measure of devotion that they gave here, which is directly a reference to who we were just talking about, people who died in action. And that's one of the earliest national cemeteries that we have. The Civil War was a really huge part of establishing national cemeteries.
I'm glad you brought up national cemeteries, because I know we kind of wanted to do a dive into national cemeteries as well. What do we need to know, Rafi?
Well, you have a couple of national cemeteries here, right here in NWA. We have Fayetteville National Cemetery and Fort Smith National Cemetery, and a couple of cool stories there is, in Fort Smith National Cemetery is General Darby. If you look him up, William Darby, he fought in World War II, was a courageous leader known for his action in North Africa, and he eventually dies in Italy. He gets killed by a German grenade as he's planning a next attack, but what's important about him is he's from Fort Smith. He initially gets, he initially gets buried in Italy where he's killed, but eventually gets disinterred, comes here, gets buried at the Fort Smith National Cemetery, a few blocks from where he grew up, which is pretty cool.
That's
and
interesting.
he's really significant because he established the Rangers, as they were known, which is the foundation for the Army Rangers later on. And he's the guy that's behind that. In fact, if you go to Fort Smith, you have the Darby Middle School, and their mascot is the Rangers.
You got all the facts for us. Also, kind of just bringing in some understanding about what Memorial Day really means. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stick around. We do have more fun. It's all happening later. Ladies and gentlemen, voices.
Three little words waiting on the windowsill, longing for the land to touch the sky. How lucky the birds sheltered
Yes, everybody, welcome. We're down here at the chef's table. We've got Allie from Bloom Cheese Co. It's going to be your favorite new cheese shop in Fayetteville. Okay, you brought cheeses, you brought pairings.
It smells incredible. I'm like sitting here, all the effervescence of this sparkling
hugging it all down
wine.
there.
Just going in here and these
You
hunks
got the
of
alcohol
cheese.
end, and I have this cheese cutter end.
You stay over there, Jason. This is mine.
So what do we need to know? What did you bring? How do we unpack this?
Yeah, so there's a lot here,
There is.
you know, at our shop, what we're gonna do, we want everybody to come in and hang out, eat cheese,
Cut the
drink
cheese.
wine. I mean, if you want, if that's what makes you comfortable, you know.
Yeah.
Chill, relaxed vibes.
Yeah. You know, I love to eat cheese and drink beer and wine, and I want to do it with all my friends.
Yes,
And new
it makes
friends,
sense.
you know.
Well, speaking of wine, and it's here, what are we starting with? Because I want to drink.
Here you go.
Okay,
Here
thank
you
you.
go.
Thank
You wanna
Thanks.
just-
I just want to.
Let's get
hard
right
stop.
to it.
I just want
Yes.
to drink.
So
Yeah.
we've got, you
So
know.
are we starting now with the drink?
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Cheers,
We got
everybody.
some sparkling rosé here.
Walk
you
us
know,
through.
Who doesn't like a little bubbles? You know, bubbles and cheese are the perfect match.
But what goes well with this sparkling rosé? Is there a specific cheese we should point to?
Oh yes.
Okay.
So right here we've got tea rose. You just get in there with your hands.
Well,
Tea
so
rose.
why
rose.
has it got like? Is that like potpourri crammed on it? Like what's going on here?
You know, it does have rose petals. It's got
Okay.
some
Oh, it's
herbs
so
and
fragrant.
some fennel pollen.
Is that herbs de Provence or is there lavender going on?
There
Like,
is
what's going on?
For sure.
the fennel. That's what you're smelling.
Okay.
The fennel. You know,
Oh man.
the number one question people ask me, you know, can you eat the rind? How do you eat the cheese? You know, there's a lot of questions.
How do you eat cheese?
How do you eat cheese? Well, you know, look at it. It's like, do you
I mean,
just
America. Dude,
yeah, I
we
know,
have
right?
like what's happened?
You know, I always like to tell
Do
people
you eat it by
can.
the pound or do you eat it by? How do you
I do.
consume your cheese?
I eat a lot of cheese, so
Yes.
you know, there's
Yeah.
a lot of ways to do it. But you know,
Right.
really, it's just to the mouth.
To the
That's
mouth.
No,
Just that.
you know,
Simple.
with the rind though, you know, every rind's different. You know, make up your own rind. But ching.
Love it.
But this one you definitely want to eat the rind, you know, and then you follow it with the bubbles.
You chase it with the bubbles.
And the beauty is that the bubbles wick those butter fats up off your palate and kind of they mingle around and you get the full flavor effect. So
Butterfat.
Butterfat.
Oh, man.
Butter
Appetizing.
fat.
I
Yeah.
want them
Well-
mingling in my mouth. I actually, while we're talking, I realized that to the mouth. We need to find out what that means in how you say it in French, because that needs to be your.
That does. I like
To the
that.
mouth.
Well,
Right, but
hey,
I'm gonna look
Siri,
it up.
tell
Al
us.
dente, right, is to the teeth. Isn't that what that means?
Yes.
Right?
So what we got to find to the mouth. But do we want French or Italian?
Ooh, which
think
one
it's
sounds
French.
better?
I think it's French
You
because
think
it's cheese,
French?
right?
Well, Italian.
Italian, they make some great cheeses
I've got
too.
some Italian
They
wine
use a lot of
here,
cheeses.
and I've got some Italian style cheeses here.
Okay.
So
it's going down to the mouth.
All right, while he's
Means
working on that.
yes,
À la bouche.
I love the
it's perfect.
À la bouche. À la bouche.
A la bouche, everybody.
What's next for my
To the
bouche?
mouth.
You
A la
ready?
bouche.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Holler hawker.
Holla hocker à la bouche.
You know,
Holla
you could
hawker.
holla for the holla hawker.
Holla.
So this is from the Swiss Alps. It's one of my all-time favorite.
So are you a holla back
cheese-
girl?
Ah,
I am now.
Okay.
Are you?
I also am now.
yes, now I am. Delicious,
This is
man.
good.
This is great. I mean, you get like, you know, toasted almonds. You get almost like a sour cream and onion, roasted
Cheese,
onion.
A lot of cheese.
What do you pair with this? Is there anything to drink with it?
No. Yes.
No?
Not
There's
this
gotta
one.
be something.
It is my favorite. So I've got this lovely beer here by the greenhouse ale works.
Greenhouse Ale Works, they're really cool. Like
Yeah.
it was a really big scare because they got messed up with the tornadoes and
Okay.
Rogers.
Oh, bless.
But now they're back. Really great brewery. Awesome.
Smells like an
folks.
IPA. Is this an IPA?
It's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You gotta have the beer.
So this is a hazy IPA.
Hazy IPA,
I love
yeah.
hazies because they go through. It's more unfiltered, so it's a little more natural.
Very
Yeah.
floral, very citrus forward.
Yes, and it pairs so well
With this one.
With that one, and we've got a stinker here at the end, which
Okay.
is Campo.
Campo.
And they wash the rind and smoke it ever so slightly, not too much.
Ooh, but you can smell it even.
Yep.
Smell
Yeah.
the smoky.
So for a funky cheese, it's not gonna
pretty mild.
knock you down.
Yeah.
Your bouche is gonna be all right.
All right. I want a stinky boosh. Okay.
Nobody does.
Oh man.
Look at the color of
Yes.
this. This is an interesting color.
So
here.
this is a strawberry cider from Black Apple here in
Oh, yeah.
town also.
Yeah, for sure.
And this cider, I mean, as a kid, you're like eating cheese, eating apples. Like cider goes great with cheese. And this one, you know, strawberry season, so of course. And this one would go really well with the first goat cheese too. You know,
Oh
just
my gosh, this
very-
is so good.
Dude, anything sweet with
Way
a
to go,
funky
Black
cheese.
yeah.
All right. So let's get into some details. I know you're about to open the cheese shop. It's imminent. It's happening. Where are you
happening.
located? And kind of give us some details on that.
Yeah. So we are located on College Avenue next to Pink House Alchemy on the Pink Block, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
We're in the same building as Pink Fern. So Pink Fern's on the front. We love Pink Fern. And we are on the back
Shouts out
side.
Pink Fern.
Yes.
So you're on the back side of that,
Yes,
right?
we'll have a patio in the back.
Okay.
And we'll have a dining room. We'll have a retail side as well. So
Yeah.
we want you to come in, buy to go, or hang out with us, even better. You know, drink some on our patio.
Yeah,
love
and
it.
visit, because you got some great
visit.
advice about
Yes.
like what sorts of cheese
And
and, pairings
stories.
and everything, and stories, all the stories from
Yep.
being a cheese baby all the way up until now.
The full-grown cheese mama.
There
That's
you
right,
go.
yes. Thank you for bringing all this to us.
So yeah, no, we're
Absolutely
excited.
delicious.
I mean, early summer.
Yes,
Okay.
early summer.
Early summer.
And you're passionate about it, so there's no one better to open a cheese
There you
shop
go.
than you, Ellie.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
for joining us today.
You
yes, absolutely. Stick around. We got more fun happening later.
Alaboosh. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms or send us an email over at laterwithjasonsuel.com. And before we let you go, we got to thank all of our amazing guests, including the one and only celebrity historian Rafi Andonian.
And of course, Allie from Bloom, stuffing us full of cheese and goodies and crudité.
Absolutely delicious. And thanks to Voices from the University of Arkansas, filmed right here at Fayetteville Public Television. That's our show. We'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Alaboosh.
Alaboosh.